So I can be free. I take the weight on my shoulders. I feel the sky come down on me, and I can't hold it much longer. Gonna let go so I can be free. Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Let's go. FT Live. Braun, Todd Father's here. And Kratz. We had a long night, and it was worth it. We did a little watch along. So, did you have fun, Kratz?
Yeah, I didn't want to leave. I stayed longer than I was supposed to stay, but it was good. I enjoyed it. What a great game, too. I wish I was around for the finale of that thing.
Thank you to Danny Graves, who was part of the show. Ross Stripling was a star. Pierzynski from the hotel room. We'll have another one, so stay tuned for more details on that front. But damn, I mean, I'm not going to bullshit. Like, let's just get right to it. Let's charge the damn mound, powered by Teza.
He was on one today, folks.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the best games of the year, if not the best game of the year, especially with the stakes that high and the amount of the pendulum swinging
to
the other side now in this series. So 5-4 Braves comeback dub. What will you remember?
Oh man, what will I remember? I think of Travis d'Arnaud for one. I mean, I played with him. Guy comes up clutch with on a nasty slider that kind of just hung up there a little bit. Bam, he comes in. Hasn't played a lot recently. Just still comes in like nothing's happened before. Bam, 2-run homer. Kind of, it didn't kickstart. I know Cunha's did. The error that Turner made. Got the 1 run, but a 2-run homer put him right back in it, and then poof. It was one thing after another. It didn't feel like, Phillies were up 4-0. It was like, another game. But once Alvarado came out, I was like, I don't know. I felt like they should have left him in for another batter or two. Don't call him,
Really?
I'm not gonna sit there and pinpoint. They should have won the game. It's not because he wasn't pitching, but I would have liked to see him stay in there. But God, he golfed that one out. What's his name at third base? Austin Riley. Jesus, man.
Riley off of Hoffman. If you're listening to the pod, we're looking at the dinger right now from Riley.
He basically had one hand on the bat when he swung, man. It goes to show you in those situations, you just got to touch me. He basically scissor kicked. He did a Frank Thomas. His back foot came pretty much off the ground. Skippity-doo dunkaroo. See you later, man. It was a beautiful thing, man. This is what playoff baseball is. And then the final outs. Come on, dude. Makes a diving or a jumping catch into the wall. Harris did. Catch it, throw it right away. That's what you teach young kids. Catch it, get it in. Even if it's a little off kilter. Ricocheted off of Ozzie Albies' glove. Man, don't celebrate. Get the ball in. Boom, gets the tag out at first. I don't blame Harper. I mean, maybe he shouldn't have rounded first base. Maybe he should have stayed, just in front of it, because it definitely would have been second and third at the very least with one out. But man, what an exciting game.
I mean, you'll never see an ending like that again. I think everybody in this situation did everything right except Harris's throw went to the wrong. I'm not even sure. Like the middle infielders, they weren't lined up correctly, and he threw it to where they were supposed to, or where they were lined up to. They should have been lined up to first, but it was just like the whole celebration at the end of the game. That was such true like emotional feeling of what that game had. We had a no-hitter through 5+. We had 10 punch-outs by Wheeler. And then you have an error that kind of led to one run that you were like, you don't never want to give the Braves anything. And then you bring Hoffman in. He's given up two extra base hits on his slider this year. Just so happened that was one of them. So, like, this game had everything. Both teams need their off day today, not just to travel. They need it to be like, whew, that was a game. So it's going to be, this is what we thought the series was going to be. Yes, the Phillies are going to think, oh man, we wish we had that one back if they don't win the series. And just like the Braves, they have to think like, holy crap, how are these guys holding our lineup down? Yeah, we won, but man, and Max Fried, I think he deserves a lot of credit. He had below average stuff for him, and he gave him all 92 or 93 pitches. So there was just so much, like this raw emotion. Obviously, this is after the Riley home run, but it was ruckus, and there was so much emotion going on both sides. Atlanta finally had something to cheer about, which is awesome for them, for their fans. Can Atlanta bring it back, though? That's the biggest thing, because Philly is going to be bumping.
I need that Michael Harris back on foul territory. We had him on in spring training, and he was super shy. And I'm like, come on.
I did too. Kratz, I don't mean to toot my own horn, but I did say Phillies in 4. So that was the game right there. I'm going to give them. And
that's their one?
That's their one game, and then we're going to go.
You don't mean to toot your own horn, but you just did.
Oh, wait. 2. So
you think they're going to Philly, they're taking 2, and also we can see Sarah Lang's in the win probability there and how it plummeted pretty quickly, of course, for a Phillies team that was kind of overpowering the Braves up until that point too. I mean, Wheeler was nasty. He brought all of his pitches. He was working that heater up in the zone early, and then you see the sweeper down low and away, like so many ways to put guys out or to get guys out. And then the relievers in the Phillies bullpen all throw a billion. I think Jeff Hoffman actually might be like the
soft
tosser. Yeah, because what is he, like 95, 96?
He touched 97, I think, last night.
Oh, he touched 97?
I thought he hit 98 every once in a while, too. Now, listen, he used to be a starter with the Rockies. Yeah, and now let's put him a reliever. He'll probably, we'll see what happens. 96 to 98. Come on, dude. It's not fair.
Did you guys hear how he got his spot on the Phillies roster? Not saying he wouldn't have gotten it anyway.
No, let us know. I don't know.
Were you gone already during the watch party? Oh, go ahead. You tell it.
No, they were saying he was brought down when Harper was rehabbing. He didn't want to go on rehab games down to the minor leagues. So they brought some Lehigh Valley pitchers down to Philly to face him. And afterwards, Harper was like, dude, why is this guy not on our team? And they were like, well, I don't know. And then he went back to Lehigh for a minute, came back down. He's one of their high leverage guys that they have used in huge situations. He comes in, 2 stark differences. Raisel Iglesias hasn't come in a game with runners on base the entire season. And Hoffman hasn't come in with a clean inning, but like 2 or 3 times the entire season. Hoffman gets hit. Raisel Iglesias, the hero.
If I'm whoever that front office person is that Harper spoke to and said, why isn't he on the team? I'm going up to Harper right now and being like, see, this is why. No, I'm totally kidding. He's such a troll. Just to like lighten the mood and be like, yeah, I know he had like a 2 ERA the whole year, but like that's why we didn't have
That's why we didn't call him up, because we knew Austin Riley was going to do a Todd Frazier and put one 360 down the line.
Yeah.
Hey, let me ask you this, Kratzy. Do you feel like the curveball was the right call there?
Mm-hmm.
You do? Okay. I was in between there because go ahead.
No, and I say I got no problem where he landed it. He's not looking to walk a guy there. I'm not saying that there's times when you pitch around guys, and I'm not saying he can't hit the outer half with that curveball slider thing. I think technically it's a slider. It moves like a curveball. Yeah. Like it moves like this instead of the sweeper slider. But the whole year, he's talked about, even before the playoffs, he talked about how most of his success is from his stuff, yes, but he was always nibbling in the zone, and you can't nibble. He did everything he needed to do for Riley right there. The numbers against that pitch are so much so that the first pitch I throw in the exact situation again, when he's back out there in game 3, is that slider. And I say he doesn't hit a homer on it because it's a pitch he doesn't leave out here because of his high arm angle. He doesn't spin too many of them arm side, staying into the righty where Riley won't run out of bat with it. So it's just really a land that pitch, outer half. Just so happened he landed it middle, and it's, it was a 3-2 pitch. Like, tip your cap. He obviously knows he needs to make a better pitch, or he can make a better pitch than that, but you also can't walk the guy right there to get to, you don't want to get to Olsen. Is Olsen hitting after Riley?
I'm not sure.
I forget now.
I'm pretty sure it's Olsen after Riley. Yeah. And I should know that because they basically kept the whole lineup the whole year besides game 1.
Besides game 1.
Olsen. Yeah,
it was Olsen. Yeah.
Also, I just want to give credit before we move on to the Braves bullpen because they kept that game in check. I know first inning too, Phillies could have done more. You can look back and say, hey, 4 hits. You had the bags full. You only got a run out of it. Remember, Ross Stripling was on with us during a watch-along that we did on FT's YouTube channel, and he was like, hey, I'm actually feeling pretty good after that first inning from Max Fried. Just battled through it. There's a lot of contact and got by with just 1 run allowed with the best offense in baseball, if not at least the National League. So credit there. But credit to the Braves bullpen, too, for holding this game in check. And what they did, the Braves bullpen has 2 ingredients that works for them, okay? Because you guys do the baseball analysis. I'll just tell you post-game. Victor said, it's heart and it's nuts, kids, okay? Heart and nuts. That's what he said. Those are the 2 things you need to have a good Braves bullpen. That's it.
Get your peanuts here. Hey, Todd Radamus, if they go game 5, since you're Nostradamus on this and you're actually wrong, which hasn't happened yet this year, do they go back to Max Fried?
I mean, who else would they go to?
I'm saying, did you see enough from him that you're like,
yeah, I saw enough. I don't think they need him back. I think they would need him because, I mean, where else would you go?
Just a straight bullpen game.
Yeah, I think you would start him with a short leash.
Okay, so
yeah,
I agree with that. You don't have many options right now.
It's not getting there
for
though.
Length. It's not getting a 5.
No.
Wow.
They're going to beat Strider game 4?
They are.
That's what happened last year, but
just like they beat him game 1.
This is like carbon copy of what happened last year in the series. Like,
it's crazy. This is nuts, man. I love it.
Let's see what happens in game 3, though. Because, I mean, the Braves offense is really, really good.
Yeah. Really
and
good.
You saw that eventually. Just hard to keep them down, whether it's Nola or eventually the bullpen in game 4. It's going to be tough. Or game 3. And then obviously we'll see what happens in game 4. We'll get to Arizona and LA later. We're going to go to the Orioles contest against the Rangers. Can the Orioles stay alive? They're the late game against Texas. Dan Connolly will join us when we swing back on FT Live on Stadium. Poll question today, prediction style. There will be, first off, before we get to the poll question, most importantly, you see that beautiful display? Like, no, it's
don't touch it.
Don't touch it. Tiza is just perfectly placed on the desk and also could be perfectly placed on your desk.
Thanks to Jesse.
Yeah, good job, Jesse. If you use the discount code FOUL, FOUL, for 20% off your first order at TizaEnergy.com. If you dip, no nicotine, no tobacco, don't do that anymore. Please stop it. Order some Tiza, and even if you don't, it is all natural, like a tea bag for you, and you can look up more ingredients at TizaEnergy.com. And your poll question, prediction style, at watchstadium.com/foul territory is there will be no sweeps in the division series. Yes, no, Dodgers only, Orioles only. Let us know, and we will hold you accountable. We're keeping receipts for every single voter.
Line up their starting pitching exactly the way they wanted to. Merrill Kelly Probably could have gave you 9 if Torey Lovullo really wanted to. And then you get Zach Gallen here in game 2. This is not as easy as people probably thought it would be for the LA Dodgers.
Does this hamstring the Dodgers? The fact that now we know it's going to go at least to 4 games with a chance of Kershaw coming back in the 5th, having a legend, first ballot Hall of Famer on your roster that's your go-to guy, does this hamstring the Dodgers? Because they could have put anybody out there. Or were they being arbitrary about this decision and going, actually, our best pitcher right now is Bobby Miller. But we got to go with Kershaw because he is a Hall of Famer.
Personally, the way the season had gone, and because you didn't know what Kershaw's status was as far as the health, if I was managing, I'm probably giving the ball to Bobby Miller, right? We saw the D-backs in a game 1 of a wild card round where you lose game 1, your back is against the wall and say, Brandon Pfaadt, here you go. And they were able to not only win that game, they won the next game and, won that series. I think for the Dodgers now, the one benefit that they have, and it might be something that people don't even think about, is that Emmett Sheehan gave them almost 3 innings of work after Kershaw came out of that game, where you blow through that bullpen, it puts you behind for the rest of the series. Now, you do have that weird off day in between, so you're probably in better shape than you would be other times. But I think the fact that you had a guy go out there and give you, almost 90 pitches and kind of stabilize things, where that game could have gotten out of hand more than it already was, but it didn't.
And now, back to foul territory.
Okay, let's run it on Orioles-Rangers because this could be a sweep, but let's get more insight from former athletic writer and now with WMAR TV and sportsnaut.com, sportsnaut.com, kind of like astronaut. It's the great Dan Connolly who covers the Orioles on a daily basis at Dan Connolly 2016. Dan, how are you, and are you enjoying the series?
Good, guys, and it's certainly an interesting series, maybe not the one that Orioles fans were expecting, but it's definitely a good one.
Okay, so I also just want to say this right off the jump because I've been looking forward to talking to you for a while. This is your first time here with us on FT Live. Your article about John Angelos during the season was incredible. One of the best articles I read all year to give like a really comprehensive look at how the franchise runs. We'll get to that later. Let's do the glass half full fun stuff first because it's been a great year for Baltimore. So tell me your thoughts and expectations heading into Texas. I mean, obviously they were super excited for ball in Baltimore. They went through Tank City, super tank team to get to this point. Very excited about how well they did in the American League. And then the Rangers take it to them in the first 2 games. Do you think they still have a chance?
It's tough, guys. I mean, down 2-0 and going to Texas. And Texas, they haven't had a playoff game in a while as far as at home is concerned. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be loud. And this is a team, an Orioles team, won 101 games. It's the first time they've done that since 1980. And they expected to win 1, if not 2 at home. And so to go 0-2 into Texas is not where they expected. The good thing about this team is it is so young. It is so confident. It may not realize how daunting this situation is. And they might actually be able to overcome it because they've overcome everything this year. This team has not been swept since May of 2022 before Adley Rutschman even took this, even joined this team. So do they have a chance? Yes. Is it going to be the most difficult, daunting chance so far that they've had this year, since the rebuild? Absolutely.
Let me ask you this. So the Orioles coming into the year, nobody expected this out of them, how good they were going to be, win the division, everything else. Will this be, say they get swept or say they even lose the division? This going to be a season like, we should have done better. It's a season to forget, or is it going to be like, all right, man, look at what we did right now. Let's look to the future.
I think this has to be a season to build on because, like you said, they weren't supposed to be this good, first of all. They won 83 games. They went from 52 wins to 83 wins, 21 and 22. That's a huge jump. No one expected another 20 win or so jump here. So I think that they have to feel like this was a success regardless. You never want to lose. You never want to get swept. But I think they feel like this is something they can build on. because of the youth they have. A 22-year-old Gunnar Henderson, a 23-year-old Grayson Rodriguez, a 25-year-old Adley Rutschman. Even their veterans like Hayes and Mullins and Santander are all in their mid to late 20s. So I do feel like this is a building on team. Adam Jones had said previously that this team reminds him of the 2014 Kansas City Royals, which took out the Orioles in 2014. And then in 2015, they won the World Series. I think that's what the Orioles have to look at, that this was a year that they told everybody that they're here. And now it's going to be a year next year and beyond that they really do fight for a World Series.
So do they really want to build on this team? Because that takes money. And that takes someone else stepping up and being like, oh, yeah, we do want to build on this team. And we want to keep these guys together. We don't want – you possibly could have a 2-year window here with this team. And I know I'm being – I'm on the lower end. Everyone's thinking, well, Gunnar Henderson's a rookie. He's going to be here for 6 years. They probably trade him if they're not willing to spend money on somebody.
Well, here's the thing. I don't know if they'll spend money. They haven't spent money. And I don't think that they're really into spending money at this point. Sort of like, they look at Tampa Bay and Cleveland as teams that they emulate themselves after. That said, this is the best farm system in baseball right now. And they have so many guys that other teams would covet. And so if they want to go get a starting pitcher, for instance, they may have to do it through trade and not through a free agency. Are they willing to give up some of their young studs? Probably, especially if you look at the middle infield and they have 5 or 6 or 7 guys who really are considered young up and coming players. They have a guy, Joey Ortiz, who can't crack the lineup. They have guys like that. They can package a couple of those for a team that wants to get rid of a starting pitcher. So they may not have to obtain that number 1 or number 2 guy via free agency. They may be able to get him, through trade and then pay that guy what his salary is. I think they're willing to do that. I'm not sure they're willing to spend, 5 years and $100 and some million on a pitcher.
So you're saying they wanted to emulate who again? What were the 2 teams?
Well, Cleveland and Tampa were two of the teams that they have talked about. And, you want them to emulate at Houston.
Yeah, Houston has 2 World Series, and
Right.
Houston's locked up Altuve. Houston has gone out and maybe overspent on an Abreu. Houston has gone out and gotten Verlander. Like, if you want to emulate 2 teams that have 0 championships, but the Rays got to the World Series. So do the Orioles really want to win a World Series? I'm not talking about the players. I'm talking about the organization.
Bregman re-signed, and Tucker probably will re-sign too. So they're keeping dudes.
If you're talking organization and you're talking ownership, I'm not so sure. They don't pay. They don't spend the money, and that's the thing. They haven't, and they don't. Are you talking Mike Elias? Does he want to do that? Absolutely. They are only a player or 2 away from really making major noise here, and they won 101 games. They already made noise. But to get to where you're talking about, to get to the World Series or being a World Series contender and winning a World Series, yeah, they have to add, and they should add financially. I just don't, I've covered this team 23 years. I haven't seen the adding financially at all in that time. It's, it's a little bit of a different ownership. The Sun's in charge now, but I don't see them going that way. I see them trying to do it via their collateral in the minors.
So tell us the mindset then, while we're on this topic, of John Angelos, who, is a daddy money guy. He's the son of Peter, who got the team going. And at one point did spend some money. Remember, like the Miguel Tejada era, where the Orioles were spending some cash on a team that had, franchise players that you could kind of build around and also market, which is a big thing. Like we're seeing from teams like the Braves and the Phillies, like names that we know. You can buy the jersey and know that it's going to be there for a bit. So yeah, give me a little inside info on what's going on through his head and some of the experiences that you've had with one of baseball's friendliest owners. Sarcastic.
Yeah. Let me say, first of all, in correction, they will spend money. I mean, they've spent money on hitters over the years, but we're not talking about the $200 million players. $161 million was the most they've ever spent in one player. That was Chris Davis, one of their own free agents, and that was a disaster. So they're not going to, they won't spend $200 and $250 million on a player, especially a pitcher, but really on any player. So they're going to spend money, but they're not going to spend that kind of money. Okay, so let's just say that. I mean, they've had payrolls in the top 10 before. They had a number 1 payroll overall in 1997 before. So let's not say they won't, but it's doubtful that they spend for that guy or those 2 guys. That said, John Angelos actually told the New York Times, he doesn't talk to us that much, but he did tell the New York Times that, he feels like this is a team that is more like, and I had said earlier, more like a Cleveland or a Tampa, and they're never going to be that top financial team. He also basically made it sound like they wouldn't necessarily sign those young players to large deals. That really deflated a fan base that wants to see Adley Rutschman and wants to see Gunnar, Henderson on this club for a long period of time. Given that particular statement, then yeah, I don't think you're going to see a lot of money spent. And John Angelos is a strange bird. I mean, he wants to build around the stadium. He wants to have a Battery-esque, area, like an entertainment area similar to the Battery in Atlanta. He wants to build it as a destination place in Baltimore. He's very civic-minded to Baltimore, as his father was. And, he wants to build around the Orioles brand. Now, does that mean they should win? Yeah, because that's how you build around a brand. But I'm concerned that he's more worried about that part of it than he is what actually is on the field. He went out and got Mike Elias. He went out and got Brandon Hyde. Those two guys have been a great combo. But, you got to have the players too. And that's the one concern here is, will they keep their players and will they add to it? And with John Angelos, it doesn't sound like he is saying yes to those questions, at least right now.
You don't have to dive deep into this, but do you think the Chris Davis deal had something to do with this?
It did initially. It did during his father's reign, Peter Angelos' reign. He wasn't spending that kind of money after that. They did that in 15, and then they ended up. It was a terrible deal, and they ended up not spending money from that point on. I think that's changed a little bit. I think they will spend, a $150 million deal, maybe for the right guy at some point. But yes, it absolutely handcuffed this team from, say, 2017 on. Manny Machado was a guy they would have loved to sign, but there was no way they were spending that kind of money after they, put that money into the Davis thing, and it completely collapsed.
Have you seen anything in the clubhouse or heard anything from the players? Because when we had Adam Frazier on, we mentioned the comment that John Angelos said about how, it's going to be tough to re-sign some of these young guys. And Adam Frazier's exact words were, "Oh, we heard that loud and clear." So have you heard anything from the players in the clubhouse?
The thing is that a lot of these guys, and Adam's a veteran, he's one of the few veterans there, right? A lot of these guys aren't really thinking beyond because they're in their first and second year. They're not even at arbitration yet. But does that resonate when you think that you want to keep this group together? This is as close of a group that I've ever been around. The 2014, the 2020, the 2012 to 2016 team with Adam Jones and Nick Markakis and J.J. Hardy and those guys was exceptionally close. This team is the same way. They've all kind of grown up together. They really like each other. They want to stay and win championships in Baltimore. The Orioles fans are nuts right now. And, they want to be able to keep that together. So does that resonate in the clubhouse? Absolutely. But I think that these guys are going to take their time a little bit as well to worry about that stuff because they're so far away from free agency. They are here for 5 more years or whatever. But for the veteran guys, they see that and think, hey, we're not going to be able to keep this group together, I'm sure.
Dan, let's swing back to the series for a moment. What do you think the Orioles can learn from, say, the Rangers? Obviously, the money can tie right into this because Cal Raleigh said the same thing about Texas, how they've done a nice job building. They went through a little rebuild, but then they also threw down financially. And you're seeing that at the top of their order for sure. And even obviously with some of the pitching that they have. And actually, what's scary is the Rangers could be that much better. They're like, hey, let's get through the DS because Scherzer's coming back and John Gray, which makes them even more of a force.
I was going to say DeGrom, but he won't be back next year.
No, not DeGrom yet, but which is crazy. It's like, oh, DeGrom's on IL. But, I mean, the Rangers have spent significant money. It's not always all going to work, but they're in this position for that reason.
Yeah, and I mean, you look at this Texas team, and there are 2 ways to do this. You can just completely shut it down, completely tank, and come back, if you can make that work. Or you can do it partially and then supplement financially. And the Rangers have done that. But then they have a guy like Evan Carter who comes up, a guy that they drafted, and he's been scary for them. I mean, I think he's 5 for 10 with a home run and 2-3 doubles and something. He's been exceptional to the point where the Orioles were actually game planning for him in game 1 and chased their best starter out just to face Evan Carter and the guys behind him. So Texas has done it right. And I think Mike Elias, who, is the Orioles GM, was there in Houston and helped oversee the tanking there. They built through the farm system, they built through international, but they also spent money. And we're seeing this with Texas. Texas is such a really good combination of that, where the Orioles aren't there yet because they don't have many of those like star leaders. They just have a lot of classy, hardworking leaders like the Adam Fraziers and Kyle Gibsons.
Let me ask you this. We got Dean Kramer on the mound tonight. Hyde said he's been good all year. It's a guy that we got to go to. Back against the wall, is this the guy that needs to be out there for them?
Me personally, I probably would have gone Kyle Gibson because he's experienced and he's a guy that's been around it. But Dean Kramer's been a better pitcher for the most part all season than Gibson. He's got a 4.12 ERA. He won 13 games for this team. The two clinchers that the Orioles had, the playoff clincher and then the AL East clincher, they were started by Gibson's. They were started by Kramer. So he's got that. He understands what it's like to pitch in a big game. There's also the other side of this too. He is a dual citizen of both the United States and Israel. And he spends a lot of time in Israel since he was a boy. He has a lot of extended family there. Obviously, with the situation, declaration of war in Israel, he's got a lot of things on his mind. The Orioles, Brandon Hyde, the manager, talked to him, made sure he was okay with it. A lot of these players, like I said, very close. They've talked to him, make sure he's doing okay, make sure his family's doing okay. He's got a lot on his mind, but he really wants this ball, and I think he's pitching for something bigger than just the Orioles right now. So I guess he is the guy to go with, and it's going to be interesting because he's never pitched in this kind of situation, but he's pitched for the Israel Team Israel and WBC, and he's pitched for the clinchers, so he does have big game experience as well.
Is the bullpen able to cover? I know they had the off day yesterday. Let's say this goes just a little bit south early, not something that maybe Kramer can get out of, but it's like bullpen elimination game. Is there enough in this bullpen to cover the rest of the innings, or is it kind of like we need at least 3 out of Dean?
I think you need at least 3 out of Dean. I mean, this is a bullpen who has been very good most of the year. They lost their leader and closer, Felix Bautista. They've had to be able to deal with that. They did get that 5 days rest, but most of these guys have been pitching for 6 months and have never pitched this long, and certainly in this kind of baseball. They took out their best pitcher in 4 1/3 on Saturday in Kyle Bradish. And so the bullpen had to fill those 5 innings. Then they had to fill pretty much the entire game on Sunday when Grayson Rodriguez went out early. So they need to be able to mix it up. Now, Brandon Hyde said that it is a all hands on deck situation, and that includes maybe even Kyle Gibson to be behind Kramer if needed. I think they're going to if Kramer can pitch, and keep it scoreless for a while, he'll go as long as they can. But I think they're going to be mixing and matching a lot here, simply because backs against the wall, and they have to win this game, and they don't want a 101 game season to end with 3 straight losses in the playoffs.
What do you think happened to Grayson Rodriguez that, made his start really a failure in his mind? I know he's a guy that's actually got a lot of confidence. I know he struggled at the beginning of the year, went back down, came up firing. He's got stuff for days. It is number 1 elite stuff, and he knows it. It's just that the Rangers figured him out pretty quickly after the, first or second inning there.
Well, he walked 4 guys and in 2 innings, and that's the big thing there. He got out of a base loaded jam in the first, but then the Rangers can really hit. We can't dismiss that either. I mean, they're a really, really good offensive team. They can be both aggressive and wait out pitchers, and that's kind of what they did a little bit. They seized on a couple 0-1 or 1-0 pitches and got some hits, and then they also waited him out when he wasn't hitting his spots. And so he kind of created his own problem. But this Texas Rangers offense, guys, is really, really good all the way down. You throw Evan Carter in that 5th spot the way he's been hitting, and my goodness, is it deep.
Okay, last one from me. We look back at the trade deadline, and they picked up Jack Flaherty. Obviously, Jack has not been the prime Jack Flaherty that we saw from several years ago. He's gone through shoulder issues, and just, the stuff's not what it used to be, at least for now. Hopefully he gets back to that at some point. They didn't get a ton of attention, but I felt like there should have been more. This was their time to strike. They were in line to be in a position like this. What did you want to see? I mean, obviously it's easier to look back now, but what did you want to see when you looked back then? Were you critical? And, was there anything else you were hearing about? It's easy to look across and go, Jordan Montgomery would look pretty damn good in an Orioles uniform right now. Could have had him.
This is going to sound retrospect, but that was the guy that I was targeting for them. I thought Jordan Montgomery, as a left-hander, as a guy who pitched in the American League East, as a guy who wouldn't cost you that much. He wasn't Max Scherzer. He wasn't Justin Verlander. I think a guy like that would have been perfect for them. And now it's really easy to say that now, right, guys? But that's the guy that I was targeting for them. They actually had some talks about Verlander. I mean, they were interested in getting a guy, but they didn't want to give up Jackson Holliday, who's number one hitting prospect in the game. They didn't want to give up a collection of top players for a rental. And I think they would have loved for like a Corbin Burns or a guy like that to be available, but obviously he had some work to do in Milwaukee. So, yeah, they should have done more. And I think they should have gotten one or two starters, and I certainly think they should have gotten a little bit more in the bullpen help-wise. They got Fujinami, who is not on the roster here. They did pick up Webb, but again, it was more of a off the waiver wire kind of situation. They should have gone out and been more aggressive for a starting pitcher or two and a good solid reliever or two, and they didn't do that. That was where they needed the help, and that we're seeing this now. Now, at the time, Felix Bautista was their closer, but obviously he got hurt at the end of August, and that's kind of changed the bullpen as well. So I think they should have been more aggressive. I think they should have been worrying about this year and not if they could get somebody for this year and a couple of years down the road. And I think that's what they were focused on, more of an overall big picture guy or a rental that wasn't going to cost them much. And that's what Jack Flaherty was.
We're going to run this clip tomorrow because you're going to answer this like you were on the show tomorrow. The Orioles won the game because – complete the sentence.
Because they pitch well. I mean, that's simply they have to pitch well. They do not have an offense that is the same as the Texas Rangers offense. They have to pitch well. Nate Eovaldi's been really good against their offense as well. I mean, overall, historically, I think he's 8-2 with a low 3 ERA in 16 starts against the Orioles, but not these Orioles. But they have to be able to both pitch well, and then they need to manufacture runs. They're a fast team. They're an aggressive team. They need to get a guy on first, steal second, and come home on a single. They need to do those kinds of things, sacrifice flies. They need to manufacture runs and then keep this Rangers offense at bay. And I'm not sure they can do that, guys.
Well, we'll see what happens. And they're going to have to win 3 in a row. They haven't been swept in light years. So we'll see if that that continues. At Dan Connolly 2016 to follow him on Twitter and see his work on WMAR TV and sportsnot.com. Dan, great to have you on. Appreciate the time, man.
Absolutely. Have me anytime. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Dan Connolly with us on FT Live. We'll get to the other series that now takes a break for a sec. Dodgers on the damn ropes. We'll cover it next.
So hopefully sometime in the near future, I kind of, pick his brain a little bit because that'd be very helpful.
Think how sick it'd be. You walk around your fall league and you're like, guess who's on the phone, guys? It's Shohei. Who are you guys talking to? Oh, it's not Shohei. I don't care who y'all are talking. Think about that. All your you be back home in Pennsylvania, Kratz State, worst place besides New Jersey. But other than that, you could be like, hey, hold on. Shohei's on the line, guys. I'll call you. I'll have to play. I'll talk to you guys later.
For real. No, I know. Hopefully sometime in the near future. I'm working on it. I really am. So if you guys got any, connects, let me know. But no, we're trying.
I do want to know though, when you were drafted, did they say, hey, you're going to be a two-way guy? They gave you that?
I communicated going into the draft that I would have liked to do both, and I wouldn't really be interested if any team didn't see that as well, or at least allow me to attempt it.
And what is have they given you any indication? Because what was the guy's name in Tampa? Brandon McKay, I think his name was.
Yeah, Brandon McKay.
He ended up getting hurt and never. Have they given you I don't want to say a drop dead date, but have they said hey, if you don't make it as both by 2025, then we're gonna have you be a hitter or a pitcher, or they've just been we're gonna ride this thing as long as possible?
Yeah, no, it's just we're pretty much riding it as long as possible, and just check-ins every once in a while, because obviously, this is where we're at right now. But say in the future something doesn't make sense, why continue with it, you know? So where we're at right now is just like staying healthy, like getting healthy, staying healthy. That's like the main priority. And that's what we've been doing. So like those conversations, I haven't had enough ABs. I haven't enough innings on the mound to even have those conversations, because it's like, you could ask me who I am as a player. It's like, I couldn't even tell you, because I'd imagine a lot of people can't either, just because of the lack of reps. So I think we just kind of want some time and game and innings under my belt before we even like kind of dig into that.
And now back to foul territory.
Okay, FT Live. Let's get to the Diamondbacks and the Dodgers now, as they take another break before they head back to Arizona. Yesterday's action. Not good for LA.
No.
16 games better than the Diamondbacks in the regular season, but everything shrinks in the playoffs. I mean, Kratz, you look at the Diamondbacks, and one of the big things was, well, their bullpen's shaky. They don't have a lot of length in their starting pitching depth. You know, it's not a great 1 through 5. It's really just 2 dudes. Okay, well, welcome to a 5-game series where 2 dudes can shine. So they take their 2-0 lead back to Arizona. That place better be going nuts, because this team has been the Cinderella team of the MLB postseason. I got to use the line, because if you listen to Fair Territory, which is out now, Rosenthal says this is not the March Madness bracket, but MLB actually really is into the March Madness bracket. So this is your Cinderella.
They're not Cinderella. Like, look at what they've done throughout the year. I get it. They haven't had a lot of starting pitching, but they have the starter of the All-Star game on their team. They have Merrill Kelly, who is an elite number 2 for a team. A lot of teams would take him as their number 1. And they have a lineup that has a guy with Rookie of the Year, 30 plus. Someone has 30 plus homers in their lineup. Rookie of the Year is a first ever 25-50 rookie in the game. Like, this team plays the game of baseball really, really well. And right now, when the Dodgers, you look at their lineup and you're like, okay, who's going to hurt you in that lineup? Well, it's Freddie and Mookie, and they have done nothing. Nothing this series, and nothing the series before other years as the 1-2 punch. They need to step up. It is really on them. Yesterday was the first inning, and the bullpen for the Dodgers came and shut the door. Just wasn't enough. They need Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman to step up, or they will be stepping out real quick.
Yeah, I think you make a good point, but I also think at the end of the day, this team going on the road is going to be huge for them. Take a little pressure off. You're not at home. Anything can help. You know, that team can hit. I think the 5 days off it hurt a bunch of teams, especially. You know, I thought this was a good idea, but for these teams that won, taking that many days off, it hurts. It hurts too as well. I don't care if you're, the best hitter in the world. If not, it's going to take a couple times to get accustomed to swinging again, man. It's not live at bats. It's getting after it. So for them, getting on the road, I think will help. I think that'll calm them down. Do I think it's too little, too late? Maybe. I've been a part of this, Scott. I've been part of up 2-0. I'm one of those 10 teams that's lost, and it's not fun. So
to the Giants, right?
Yes, and they eventually won the whole thing. But for the teams like the Dodgers and the Orioles, if you can win Game 3, all of a sudden now the pressure is back on the other teams, because now, we got to win this one, because then it'll go to Game 5. So finding a way to win Game 3 is huge. You're still not out of it, but it does. It changes the pressure, and it changes everything else. Now the coach is like, all right, what if this happens? What if that happens? Instead of trying to win the game.
Yeah, I mean, 1 for 13, Mookie and Freddie, who were like the most dynamic 1-2 combo in the National League, along with Olsen and Acuna, of course. 2 innings from your starters in the first 2 games. But Tell me more about this 2-0. So when you guys were up on San Francisco, are you strolling around, little Frank Sinatra in the clubhouse?
Oh, man.
You guys were on home,
we got
too,
it.
right?
We went back to Cincinnati.
Yeah.
So we won home,
we
just
won
like this.
2 on the road.
Yeah.
Flying home, feeling good, whatever. Game 3, they won on an error by Scott Rowland. And it wasn't, we don't blaming him, but that's how they won 3-2, 2-1. I forget what it was. And then you just see the momentum shift. Hunter Pence was like their guy that would rally the troops and have the speeches. Then they win game 4 by like a lot, and then we're like, oh my God, now what? We didn't know who to pitch. It was either between Cueto and Matt. Oh my God, Matty Latos, and Cueto couldn't go, so we threw Latos, gave up the grand slam to Buster Posey.
Mhm.
Jesus, I mean, this guy's
he's
he
an
knows everything. Encyclopedia Brown.
Yeah.
And then we had a chance to win it. Bruce coming up at the end with first and second, and we just couldn't get it done. And I remember like the game was over. I'm like, what the hell just happened?
Right.
It went like that. So
both at home. When did it swing for you, right? Because you're feeling great. You took the first 2. You go to Cincinnati. You lose that first game. Did it swing then? In terms of like where your brain starts to go, oh, shit, we better win this. Or was it not until you lose that game 4?
I think it started in game 3, like, because it was such a letdown. Because I think we went in extra innings, and it was just like, oh man, what just happened? All right, we're good. It's all good. They got to win 2. And then when they went up in game 4, I'm like, oh no, this is crazy, dude. And it just like you sink back in your chair. You're like, oh no, what's going on? I can't get up. What's going? Like you're in quicksand, and it's just it's not a good feeling. So I don't wish that upon anybody, man. That's a tough one.
It was 2-1 in 10 innings in that game 3, and then game 4, 8-3 San Francisco. Game 5, 6-4.
Todd, let me ask you this though. Okay, so I remember that series very well, clearly, but fast forward to 2017 when we lost the first 2 games on that grand slam that shouldn't have happened off of Lindor in Cleveland.
Oh God.
Think about it. See, you're an emotional player. So this is what I think people need to understand. Like when players give like the generic answers of like, oh, well, the Phillies are like, oh, well, we're going back. And, if you told us we had 1 win out of the series down there, we'd feel good about it. It's still heartbreaking.
Yeah.
It's still heartbreaking. And this is where the Orioles need veterans to step up and be like, guys, it's okay. We're really good. So take us to 2017 when we're down 2 games, heartbreaker. Like that bus from the stadium to the airport was garbage. It was so, but there was a different feeling going into the locker room into game 3. And then game 4, Greg Bird hits that homer. But as
I was on deck. It was unbelievable.
That's what I mean. Like, so give me the difference in emotions. Because you won 1 series coming back down 2-0, and you lost 1 being up 2-0.
No, it's a great question. The bus, the flight, everything going back home. We're like, dude, just wasn't it. Had the day off, come back in 0-0. We're fighting, clawing. I just said, win the day. I remember Girardi came in. He basically apologized about the whole thing about the foul ball, tip foul ball that Chisenhall did, and basically what they call that a hit by pitch, bases loaded. Lindor hits the grand slam. We end up losing. If we reviewed that, we'd probably win that game. But hindsight, we're coming back 0-0, tooth and nail. Finally hits the home run. We win 1-0. It's like, all right, now it's go time, bro. Let's get after it. Let's enjoy this moment. Come back, win game 4, and then 5 back at their place. The momentum shifted. And you think of guys like Didi Gregorius, how good he was in that series, hitting 2 homers off Corey Kluber in game 5. It was something special. I just felt like we weren't going to lose, but at the same time, when you went down 2-0, I mean, the shift of energy, winning game 3 when you're down 0-2 is the biggest momentum shifter that can happen in a series. I don't care if you're home or away. That is the biggest momentum shifter, because now it's like Rocky. Oh, he's still coming back. We knocked him down 5 times still. It's huge. If Orioles can win and Dodgers can win that, it's going to be a huge momentum shifter.
What do you want to fix the layoff? Because some people are like,
make it a 1-gamer.
No,
back to the wild card 1-gamer.
I think
we had Russ Dorsey on yesterday. And he's like, yo, if you're the Braves and you're the big bad Braves, just win. Let's see it. And they did.
Makes sense.
And Brzezinski's like, yo, I don't care about the layoff. Like,
I don't know.
The Phillies had 2 days off after they won. But you're saying
because 2 days is bigger than 5.
Sure.
Everybody's like, oh man, and Kratz, you can chime in after this. he said, everybody's like, oh man, you get your guys healthy 5 days. What? I mean, how much healthy you can get in 5 days if you got ailments? Okay, your energy, your emotion's going to be there, but 5 days off from not seeing like real live in a stadium in the playoffs, I think that's huge. I think it's absolutely huge, Erik.
Todd, which would you rather have though? Which would you rather have? You think the Phillies would be like, okay, so give the teams the option. Hey, you know what, Braves? You won 104 games, whatever they won. You guys get the choice. You either get the 5-day layoff or you go play the wild card series. Not a single team signs up, not one, to go play the wild card series.
I know. I agree. But at the same time, it does play a part. If you don't think so, that's your opinion.
They
But
need to figure it
does.
out.
Yeah, I don't know what to do. Maybe you don't have that many teams in the wild card.
I'm more pissed off about my layoff. I just was pissed that we didn't have games on Friday. Like that was just prime opportunity. I'm sitting
Scott
there
really
and
wants
I'm
more
rusty.
games.
I'm rusty. My eyes.
Yeah, at
like,
least
by
one
Saturday,
game.
I'm
At least
I haven't watched playoff ball in a couple
every
days.
team swept. That was unbelievable.
That's what I'm saying. All right, we'll go over the poll results coming up in a sec. We'll go over our picks and look at the matchups coming up tonight. Next on FT Live.
Ross also talked about the fact that like he's been talking to John over the last 24 hours. They've been in communication. So then I wondered, like, did John know that he was going to do this? Like, did John give him the okay? Did he say, fine, you could throw me under the bus? Like, I don't know. It is so strange. It is a weird situation for sure. And, again, I just go back to like, why not just own the decision as an organizational one? Like kind of like you were saying, like it didn't work. And it was a disappointing finish. And the team looks kind of silly because I think, honestly, they went into the postseason with probably one of the stronger rotations in terms of just like the depth of it. You had 4, actually really like 5 starters that you would feel good about, I think, in any start pretty much. And it just felt like they didn't tap into that. It felt like they got in their own way, especially in the second game in terms of using Kikuchi where they did. I was listening to Ken Rosenthal like before we came on, and I agree. Like you could have just brought in a reliever like a Tim Meza in that situation and then brought in Kikuchi later to cover off a bulk of those innings. So again, like it does feel like it's going to be awkward. I guess you hope that John Schneider, who is like a guy that is easy to get along with, I find that that's probably one of his best qualities as a manager, is that he seems to be able to connect with people of all types of players, all type of media, all type of executives. And he's very good at communicating. I think he's actually like really clear when he talks. And so that's like one of his strengths. So I guess you hope that they can move forward. And presumably if they've been talking in the 24 hours prior to that news conference, they probably talked after. Like maybe John kind of knew this was was how it was going to unfold. But it was just strange. And I would say like the reaction in Toronto has been very strong in terms of people being kind of shocked at Ross's comments. And I think almost you almost had a reverse situation where maybe fans were kind of angry at John Schneider right after that game 2 and right after the loss, but then kind of hearing his boss throw him under the bus a little bit, I feel like now people are like, oh, I kind of feel bad for John Schneider. Like what is going on in this organization?
And now back to foul territory.
Some poll results for you on if you think there's going to be all sweeps, yes, no, or Dodgers only, Orioles only, and your winner, Dodgers only. So I guess people think that maybe the Orioles will pull off a dub, but not the Dodgers. All right, we'll see.
I don't know.
Let's make some predictions ourselves, shall we? Your BetMGM Locks. We'll look back to yesterday, and then we'll push forward. Tuesdays are special for us and our locks, but I missed. Kratz missed. And Pierzynski's starting to find himself a little bit with the Wheeler 5 and the Fried 3. He hit that exact, didn't he? Kratz?
No, Wheeler.
Well, with Fried.
Fried had 2 walks and 3 strikeouts, and I missed it. I thought he'd be okay. Harper there, he had him 1-2 last at bat. Didn't happen.
Nope. And it felt like Wheeler had 90 Ks, but
he had
like 9, 10.
He's the first guy in postseason history to ever strike out the first 6 batters.
Jeez. Money bags for you. We're all in fantastic shape. You would be up a lot, like 6 G's ish, if you just did exactly what we did. So that's cool. And Tuesdays are special for us. It's the FT Heater. It's available right now on the BetMGM app, depending on where you are in the country, of course. Dean Kramer to record 3 strikeouts or more. He is starting for Baltimore, and the Orioles to win. It was at plus 175. We saw it. We chose it. And BetMGM showed up and made it plus 220. So nice with the promo boost that I'm like, tell him that's my lock. Kratz, tell him that.
I love it. I love it. Obviously, it's banking on you think they're going to win, and the Todd father doesn't think they are. And you know what? I think if you look at the lineup for the Rangers is really good and everything like that. There's something about this Orioles team that they find a way to win, and I think it revolves around Adley Rutschman. And I would disagree with Dan Connolly. I think Adley Rutschman does something special tonight to jumpstart this team. And I think there is obviously a lot of power in there, but I just think it's something special that he does tonight. And Dean goes 5+ and gives him more than 3 strikeouts.
Dikembe Mutombo next to me says, not today.
I heard it.
He's doing the Adley Rutschman thing because he's a catcher. He's a little biased. I get it.
Jonah Heim's a stud too, though.
Oh, he's an absolute stud. Texas is going to win that game. This is going to be the only sweep.
Is that your lock?
No, but my lock is the Twins.
Be a good lock.
Listen, that'll be my second pick, but I'm going with the Twins and Astros under today. I think Javier and Sonny Gray are going to have 2 really good outings, and I think Twins are averaging 3.75 runs in this playoff run. They win if the game is low scoring. The Twins are going to win. That's what they do. Their bullpen has been phenomenal. I'm going Twins and the under, and I'm going big here, brother. I'm going 500 on this, 550 to win 5. Woo! And I'm really a believer in a 3-1 game, 4-2 game. And I think the Twins, I honestly, I'm going to go, I'm not even going out limb. I think they're going to make it to the World Series.
Oh,
I'm calling it right now. So
wow.
Go put some cash down on that. The Twins are paying out good money.
I'm going to. Just to make it to the World Series.
Yes, sir.
Jamie, he's surprised. Mr. Fox.
Jamie, don't give me that look, Jaime.
He's got that foul 200 for you. Bet 10, get 200 when you place your first BetMGM sportsbook wager through the BetMGM sportsbook app of at least $10. You get $200 instantly in additional winnings, regardless of your wager's outcome. You get those back in bonus bets. Gambling problem or concern? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. And for me tonight, I'm going Javier. I do agree. I think it'll be low scoring, but I think the Astros take it. I got Javier, and their bullpen is, I think, just as nasty.
They just haven't faced him. They haven't faced Javier, and that fastball is an invisible fastball. If the Twins can simulate it somehow in the cage,
he's been okay this year. He hasn't been the same, in my opinion.
Lately, but it's the playoffs. Better, right? No hitter in the playoffs.
Good luck.
Good luck, Poppy.
Hour 2, FT live on our Foul Territory YouTube channel. Lance Lynn and Dylan Lee was a big pitcher on the Braves last year. Both will join us coming up. It's FT Live. Scotty Braun, Todd Father, Erik Kratz. Playoffs continue, and we'll jump right back into those with two guys involved. That includes Lance Lynn, who's going to be a big factor for the Dodgers to keep their season alive. He'll join us very, very soon. And Dylan Lee was a big part of some Braves teams in the past. He's gone through some injuries and some ups and downs this year, but he'll join us during the second hour too for some Braves insight. I'm sure he was freaking out when he saw his boy Michael Harris make that play, but let's cover some international news for our international baseball specialist of the day, Todd Father, letting us know about Rintaro Sasaki. And I think the comp for him is excellent. I do not know a lot about him. This is a super unique story. And did you see what the comp is for him?
I did. And I think it's
know?
spot on. He's the Japanese Prince Fielder.
Wow.
As you're reading here, late night news, 17-year-old Japanese sensation Rintaro Sasaki will forego MVP draft and attend college in the United States, wallop the Japanese high school record, 140 home runs.
What?
That's little league numbers, and hit over 400, 6 foot, 250-pound behemoth with top of the scale raw power. And I saw a video on this guy. Oh my God, raw power to all fields, Erik. This guy, he looks just like Prince Fielder. He's got the shape of him. He can swing the bat. He's got quick hands. I mean, think about this. I hit 27 home runs in high school, and everybody's like, man, unbelievable. This guy hit 140 home runs in a 4-year period. Let's calculate that. How many home runs a year is that?
How many games are they playing in high school?
That's what, 35? That's 40 homer? No,
they're playing 35 games.
35 homers.
In Japan, they play 35 games per high school season.
No, that's 35 homers a season. But they're playing in the Koshien tournament too. That's just a knockout tournament. Masa would talk about that tournament all the time. So they go for a while there. But 35 homers a year. I feel like the 140. Jeff Clement held remember Jeff Clement, first rounder out of USC. He held the America home run, high school home run title, whatever it was. I think he had 72 or 73, and it was recently beat. This dude has twice as many. This dude is an absolute beast from the left side, and to watch him play, I'm very interested to see him play in college, and I also want to know what kind of money he's turning down, not going into the draft.
Yeah, but he can get paid in the U.S. now.
No.
Yes, he can.
There's no NIL. You cannot. No international signings can come over and get NIL money.
What?
Yeah.
That's why he's going to Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt's not into the NIL money like an LSU or other SEC schools. That's why they had a little bit of a drop-off this year.
So if there's a company in Japan that wants to give him money to do social media and some commercials, he can't do it.
That I don't know that, but I know here they're not. It's not allowed. International signings are not allowed to get NIL money. I don't know the whole rule about it. It's kind of weird. But there's a rule for everything.
We need somebody more informed
we'll get
more qualified.
We can get Ben Badler from Baseball America.
But still, this guy coming over to America to miss out on that, I could see this happening a little more often. I mean, just to see, like, hey, coming out of high school playing for Vanderbilt, he turns 21. He's like, dude, this is where I wanted to be from the get-go. I'm going to start early. Why not? Get used to the pitching. I think it's a great idea.
And if he's a stud, he'll be a first-round pick and get $10 million.
Yeah.
College is going down to the DR, picking dudes out of the DR going to college.
Hey, and guess what? There's a university that'll take him. Rutgers Scarlet Knights. I already talked to the head coach, so we're going to find a way to get him over there. You never know.
You're going to personally take care of him?
I will. I got a house here. We're good.
Yeah. He could stay here.
I don't know if we're allowed to do that.
No, you can't do that. We just said you can't do that. I have one more question here on the high school front. Okay. And maybe this is just me because I like winning. You know, I know I didn't play pro ball or anything like that, but even in high school, it's like you're playing, you want to win, right? Why the fuck are you pitching to him? Why is he getting pitched to that often to hit 35 homers a year in high school?
I love it. Challenge.
Did they not see the scouting report? Does he have the best high school lineup around him ever?
Yeah. I got to read
Why
this.
would they pitch to him?
I don't know, but I think it's awesome. You're going to pitch to the guy, let him show his stuff, man.
Yeah, but
Why
if you're
not?
managing, right, like it's Tom's River High, never won the title, whatever it is, right? And you've got the Prince Fielder comp.
We're going here.
Thank you.
While NCAA college athletes were granted the opportunity to benefit from their name, image, and likeness beginning July 2021, via an intern policy. International student athletes, which account for about 12% of Division I athletes or about 3,000 nationwide, have yet to re-app the benefits.
Yet to reap the benefits.
I'm look at me. I'm blind.
Well,
reap
you're
the
also
benefits
trying to read and it's
of
tough to multitask.
transformational change.
Yeah.
So,
well, that's bullshit. That's not fair. I'm gonna have to read.
I
more
said
into that.
re-app on here like it was 2 words. That's great. Thank you. Thank you.
Hey,
very much.
Retard, what's his name? Rintaro? That is a big league name. Rintaro sounds like a Pokemon.
I love it.
Rintaro's yacht.
Maybe they'll make a card. You never know, man. Baseball cards are big now.
That is a crazy little rule there.
I need to see a Vanderbilt game with him in it.
That I would. I mean, that's must see TV. You got to. I mean, the dude's going to be starting right from jump, I would assume.
For sure.
Of course. I mean, you're
if you hit
recruiting
140
him,
home runs and you're not the starter, we got problems.
And also, you can't drop a bag of money on his doorstep.
Yeah.
So I'm like, dude, you're playing right from the jump.
Yeah.
And for him, he's looking to go to a play. Right. I mean, you bring up Vandy, because they spend millions of dollars on their facilities and their tech. You know, there's some schools in NCAA that do that better than some major league ball clubs.
Yeah.
You know,
but I saw the pitching too. His high school pitching wasn't too bad either. Like it wasn't they were throwing they're throwing hammers. He's like, "Gah, Oppo." You see the outfielder like this. Oh damn! There goes another one.
Dangers.
So I'm excited about it. I want to see how he faces the American pitchers, but I still think he's going to have a really really good opportunity here and play pretty well. We'll see.
Wow,
we'll see.
That's a crazy story.
It is. Thank you for that. I loved it.
Yeah, very crazy story. Lance Lynn's going to join us soon, by the way, and we'll mark a very special occasion for us. He will actually be officially the 200th active player guest appearance.
Oh, nice.
In 6 months and
I'll
change.
be honest, man. We've together culminating all this. We've had some really good players on here and more to come. It's been fantastic, man. 200 guys coming on interviews here, and especially just starting. Sky's the limit for us here, man. It's been really fun.
You're having fun. Could you imagine 200 plus?
Yeah,
already. Because we're on every day too.
Yeah,
we're doing work.
Exactly. You give kudos to the people behind the scenes for sure,
and also for everyone to know, because it's a good time to do it. We run it in the off season.
Yeah.
Because also
that's going to be fun.
There are a lot of fans in hiding right now. I don't know if anyone's heard. Like Padres fans are sleeping. Yankees fans are definitely sleeping because they don't want to watch New York football. There are a lot of snoozers. Chicago fans, pretty big fan base, snoozing at the moment. They will all rise and look to see what goes on. And there's still going to be a lot of drama too. And there's sneaky little coaching changes going down. Kratz, during our watch party that we did for Phillies-Braves game 2, there were some FT fans that usually don't get to catch the show live, right? Because we're on during the afternoon. But they watch the show back in the evening. And one of those fans who turns to us for any news, especially because we tell it like it is, they were like, thoughts on the coaching changes, because the Red Sox sneak, a few coaching changes. Great night to do it, right? Like there's so much action going on, MLB playoffs, like boom, we're going to let go a few people. Like they got rid of Carlos Fables and Dave Bush, their pitching coach. And the Nats like almost cleaned house with their coaching staff behind Davey Martinez, which I'm fascinated to learn more about, because the Nats overachieved their asses off this year.
I don't understand that. I don't understand the Nats part, and I'll never be okay with firing one of my original draftee mates, Dave Bush. Me, Dave Bush, John Schneider, complete, absolute, just microcosms of baseball and the different careers that we had. But it's interesting. It was very, very bold move, not bold move, a very smart move, announcing it it was literally during the Braves and Phillies game. Like they were just like, oh, this happened. We just got rid of our entire coaching staff. Like you think that, I don't know if that's Davey, because I don't know Davey's. It's gotta be Rizzo just being like, we can do better.
Nope. I have a theory, and then we got to get to our guest. He's waiting for us. My theory is the Nats have this weird money thing. They apparently are one of the dirt cheap people with managers, coaching staff, front office people. They offered their assistant GM a pay cut, and he said, fuck you, and left. So I could see them handling a situation like that with some of the coaches. We'll get to it later. We got plenty of time to talk about in the offseason. Rich Rowley will be all over that story. Let's bring in our next guest on FT Live, deep in the thick of the playoffs right now. Lance Lynn joins us. Lance, what's up, dude? And I'm going to start positive because I know this squad's down 2-0 right now. Still, when you take a second to look at the situation you're in, are you glad that you got traded to the Dodgers and you're in a playoff race right now because you were on a team that wasn't going down that direction?
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely, when you're still playing right now, that's definitely the most positive thing. So, happy to be here. Don't like the hole we're in right now, but we got a game tomorrow, and hopefully we can start digging ourselves out of it.
So what's the mindset going into this next game, big dog? Is there anything you're trying to change, or you just saying, you know what, let me just do me?
A little bit. And number one thing is let's get through the first. Make sure we get the boys a chance to get a lead and get going. And then you got to attack. You got to make pitches. This time of year you got to have quality pitches, and keep runners off base, not giving them free passes. So just try to execute the game plan, and whatever you have that day, go try to execute as much as you can, and give the boys a chance.
Do you think getting out of maybe home field, getting on the road a little bit, that can actually help a little bit for you guys? Because I know maybe, any slight little pressure all of a sudden to take us off. You're on the road, give me the ball. And are we going to see some grunts and some anger come out of you after a strikeout there in an inning? Because I would love to see that every inning.
Yeah. Well, if you're going to let me in the inning with a strikeout, there's probably going to be some sort of yell or something that goes on there. So, especially this time of year, everything's enhanced. You're excited. You're happy to be here. You're looking forward to do anything you can to give your team some energy. So, hopefully tomorrow we hit first. Hopefully we can get on the board early, get after them early, and then our job as a pitching staff is to keep them off the board and let the offense do their thing. So they haven't had a chance to hit early and have a lead yet. So hopefully we can do that tomorrow and give the boys some confidence and get some things rolling our way.
You said it right there. You boys haven't hit. Any part of you be like, man, I kind of wish I would be able to be hitting ninth in this game? Or are you like, I'm so glad not to be out there?
No, man. No, I got no problem with JD Martinez hitting fifth for me. That is definitely for sure. So, we got some boys that are itching to get it going here. We strung a few things together, and then it just didn't happen yet. So, our job is to keep pushing, and then hopefully things fall our way, make some good swings, take some good at bats, and then next thing just see what happens.
So Ross Stripling was with us last night doing a watch party, and he said when the Giants faced the Dodgers towards the end of the year, he was talking to some of his Dodger friends because he was there for a while, and they were like, we're going to have so many days off. I don't know what to do with my hands. Like, what are we going to do here? So do you think that it's a legit excuse and that MLB should, kind of shorten things up? And what was the team doing? Like, were they like, I just want to freaking play. Like, let's keep things going.
Yeah, I mean, we did simulated games where we had live at bats, live field, so we did everything that you possibly could do to make sure you're game ready, and then you're staying in tune and competing. So we made friendly competition out of it, trying to make sure we're staying locked in and all that, and make sure everybody's healthy. So obviously we're creatures of habit. Everybody loves to. We're used to playing every day. Well, we get maybe one day off every 2 weeks or every week or so. So to have that long break is never fun. But we were able to do things to keep us going. Right now, we just ran into a team that went into a wild card series and on the road got confidence. They're young. They're full of energy. They're not scared of anything. They're a good group over there. You saw it earlier this year, and then they had a little lull during the season, and then they're back. So we got to come ready to play. We put ourselves in a hole, and we got to do everything we can to pull ourselves out of it.
Lance, did you pitch in that simulated game?
Yeah, there's 3 of them, so I pitched in one of them to make sure because I was going to have a long break in between. So I was pretty much on a normal routine with that simulated game, throwing multiple innings. So everything for me feels good. Feel like a normal start day. and then was able to line it up to for when we came here to Arizona.
Did you grunt? Did you do anything like you would do in the game to simulate that situation, but against your own
We had
teammates?
there's some you have some it's more of a friendly banter back and forth doing stuff like that when a guy swings through. When he swings through your changeup or something like that, and you're like, man, I don't even throw that pitch, and you still can't hit it. Just stuff like that.
So who'd you do that to? Who swung through a changeup that you now own his baseball card?
I got Wong to swing through it, and I got him to swing through it earlier this year, and he looked at me the same way he did earlier this year. Like, dude, I've known you for 12 years, and you've never had that pitch in your life. What are you trying to do right now? So you have some fun back and forth, some smiles, and some fun like that. So we kept after each other, make sure we're doing the things that we needed to do to be prepared. We just got off to bad start and put ourselves in hole from the first inning. So we just got to do a better job, get a lead, and figure out how to make momentum in our direction.
So it's Colton.
Go ahead. Sorry,
that was more of a comment. It was Colton's birthday today, so make sure you give him a shout out. But
I will.
You had said you were like, yeah, we're creatures of habit, all that stuff. Not saying that you guys, the layoff caused it, but some teams, some fans are coming out and saying, oh, the layoff caused this. Would you switch places with Arizona if you had the choice? The Dodgers had the choice and said, okay, you got to go play the wild card game, or you can take the layoff and be the one seed, be the home seed, or would you have switched places with Arizona?
If you're looking at me right now, up to with home field advantage, I'd say, yeah, you're switching places. But, but to answer your question, going in, have to go on the road in a wild card to win, and then go on the road in division and do what they've done. No, you wouldn't switch places with them. They've done a great job of where they're at right now. There's no other way to say it. They're young, they're energetic, they're playing well, they're pitching well, they're doing everything right now. So we just got to figure out how to turn the momentum in our direction and figure out how to win one game tomorrow night.
Let me ask you this. Corbin Carroll, man, this kid's been absolutely phenomenal. He's with 7 hits in 4 games, 3 extra base hits. It seems like when he goes, they go, man. What do you have to do to stop this young man, this rookie of the year pretty much? I feel like if you stop him, good things are going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, like you got him and Marte at the top. When they get on there, then Pham and the rest of them can get comfortable with at bats with runners on. So you got to do a good job of making pitches to him. You look at him; he can steal bases. He takes his walks. He can hit for power. He's really a special young player, and he does everything, and especially on the defensive side. So if you can do everything you can to not give him a free base, and then not let him hit an extra, not let him get extra bases or get on the paths and do some things, then you can definitely kind of trying to slow him down a little bit. But he's a good player. Like you said, he's a rookie of the year. If not locked up, it should be. So we just got to do a good job of making pitches, making him work a little bit, try to make him uncomfortable, and keep him off the path so he doesn't get a rally started for him.
When are you locked in? Are you locked in as you're driving to the park? Are you locked in after you warm up? Are you first out that you finally get? When are you locked in and like the monster's out?
I think it slowly builds as the day. My wife always says it's like you can tell it's pitching day. We wake up, we have breakfast. Like she's like you can see the wheels start turning, and then as the day goes on, it's like all right, he's locked into his routine. We'll see him after the game. So and then that's usually about the time it's time to leave. So I love y'all. I'll see you after work. We got to go get it done. So it's a process. I try to be dad as much as I can in the morning. Breakfast, lunch, do all that, lock into some, the final scouting stuff that you need to do. And then it's, get to the ballpark, start your routine when you get there, say hello to the boys, make sure they're ready to rock, and then lock in to go get it done.
What's today like? Is there a workout for the team? I know there was the optional workout the other day and everyone was there.
Yeah. There's an optional workout this afternoon. I'm sure everybody go and get set up, make sure they're good to go. Today's just we got the AZ, get everybody situated, make sure families are all good at the hotel. Go to the field, get your mind right, play some catch, do whatever you need to do hitting wise, and then get ready, get back, have a nice dinner, and get yourself ready to rock tomorrow night.
Give me a little context on, how you jump into a new ball club and if there's any conversations, because you've got dirt in your spikes. You've been in this league for a while. So I don't know what your relationship's like with Clayton coming off something like that. Obviously, he's been in the league for a long time. He doesn't need someone to come up to him and be like, go get him, dude. Or maybe he does. I don't know how you guys interact. And then on the other side of it, you've got young Bobby Miller, who, didn't have his best day, but he's got a lot of good ball ahead of him. And as you know, he's probably your style. He's got some swag. He's got some confidence. So any combos that you've had with those guys?
Yeah, I mean, you just the initial is you give them the old tap on the rear end and say, hey, we got to do our job as a rest of a team to give them another chance in the playoffs. That's number one. Keep their head up. Keep rooting for the boys, which they're both amazing teammates and stuff like that. And then, like I said, each of them are different. Kirsch, you let Kirsch do his thing. He's a Hall of Famer. He's just chomping at the bit to get the ball back in his hands. And Bobby, after last night and all that, obviously he wanted to do better, but also this is a good learning experience for the kid. He got great stuff and all that. He's just maybe a little too amped, and they were able to work counts on him last night. And that's a learning experience. And I know that if he gets another chance, as we've seen as the year goes on, when he gets more opportunities to get comfortable and use his stuff and be the competitor he is, he does well. So our job as the rest of the team is to pitch well enough and play well enough so we can get these guys another chance, because when those two guys have the ball in their hand, they have the ability to do something special no matter when it is.
Hey, is there any difference in the type of vino you're going to drink tonight? Is there any playoff vino, or is it always the same tonight before you start?
You get yourself one glass with your fillet. You keep it clean with a nice fillet dinner tonight with maybe some Brussels sprouts, a little broccoli. Fuel the machine, get ready for tomorrow, and then hydrate up and get ready to rock. So it'll be a nice cab. I like a nice cab with the fillet.
Oh my! How do you like your fillet?
I'm a medium, but I go on the rare side of medium. Just get a little taste in there.
You want a little blood in there, right? Just so you can sink it in for tomorrow to get that. Let's go.
Yeah.
I love it. Nice, good.
I like that. Did you have like a meal that you would do?
No, not really. I mean, I played most of the games.
Well, I know, but
no, I didn't have anything specific that I looked for. But you knew when Lance Lynn was starting, because he had that specific bottle of vino that he liked to drink. It was great.
Did you do dinners? Can you do dinners with Lance night before?
Did we do night before your starts or no? Maybe we did.
So we were in COVID rules, so we
were.
might have
You can't get in trouble for it anymore.
Yeah, I do think that, right. You definitely can't get in trouble anymore. I think the time has passed. Is that fair?
No doubt. Well, we would have upstairs, like if we were on the road, everybody would go, and we'd go in one room and order some food, play some cards, and
mask on.
Yeah, mask on. You guys were, worlds apart.
Hit me.
Gloves.
I'll take another.
Hey, we had to wear gloves playing cards.
Yes, I know, dude.
Did you really?
Dude, there was some insane shit that we were just sitting back and people are just. I'm like, you think about the stuff we did, it was just insane.
Who wore gloves? Come on.
No, they made us wear gloves. They're like, hey, to play cards, you have to wear gloves. We're like, grow up, dude. Come on.
Yeah, no, it was tough.
Like MLB was like, hey, you have to wear gloves. You're gonna play cards. We're like, get a deck before we wear gloves.
Kratzy, it was insane. Like they had somebody walking around looking at us, and it was unbelievable. Remember they had the MLB guy waiting in the lobby all the time.
Oh yeah.
Like if you went outside, the guy would write you, like he would chart you down, like, hey man, now he can't play now.
I remember that, but man, for us, Judgy, he wasn't wearing a mask, so it was like nobody was saying anything to Judge. So it was like, he's like, man, we're all a team. We're together so much.
Yeah.
But gloves.
That's
gloves?
We're sitting on the plane with mask on playing cards, and they're like, hey, can you wear gloves? And we're like, dude, come on. We're like, we're going to get it. We're going to get it.
Oh, it was unbelievable.
over here shuffling them.
Oh, it was unreal.
Cards are getting caught in the glove.
Hey, the look Jeff Mathis gave that guy when he asked us to wear gloves.
Oh
shuffle.
man, that was so
Like,
funny.
what did you just ask me to do?
Can we do a 30 for 30 on the
Oh my god.
the hall monitors that had to do that job and had to go up to like hulking big leaguers and say, I'm sorry, gloves, please.
Now they're still there. Now they're the phone and the video monitor police, and they're still doing the same thing. They're still pain in your ass.
What?
They just shifted jobs.
You can't go in the clubhouse and check on your family because they don't want you to look at the 30-second delay TV and relay something in the dugout. But hell, I don't remember the players being the ones doing it. I remember other staff doing it, videos, but players got punished for all of it.
I remember if you had a bad day and those guys are walking around, you're like, bro,
my goodness.
don't even freaking look. Walk the other way. And the guy's like, I know, get the fuck out of here, bro. It was just pitchers, especially. If he had a bad day, the guy's like snooping around, looking around. Oh, he might have thrown something at him.
Dude, I came in one day, pitched 7 innings. I was like, dude, done. Wife was pregnant. And then he goes, hey, I need you to wear a mask. I literally just walked off the field in the clubhouse. He goes, I need you to turn off your phone. And I go, I'm going to need you to go the fuck away.
Exactly, dude. Go ahead, write me up.
I'm like, bro, I'm the only one in here and my wife's pregnant. I'm going to need you to beat it.
Wait, but like Votto tweeted, did you see what happened with Votto on his, last game of the regular season? He got into it with the ump from the dugout. They kicked him out of the game, and then he went right into the clubhouse and tweeted like, "Sorry, everyone, that was my bad." So are you not allowed to do that? Because
you're not allowed to touch your phone.
Game.
You can't.
How did Votto get by the hall monitor?
He probably got docked for it.
He probably got fined.
I feel like he can afford it.
You don't. I mean, it's the last game of the year. I mean, just have a little couth here. I mean, Jesus God, have a little feel.
That is wild. I didn't realize it was that tight.
They're not paid to have feel.
It's unbelievable, brother.
Jeez. All right. Well, we'll let you go on that spot and just let you know also, Lance, that it's kind of like the 2 millionth shopper. So obviously this is the first year of this. You've been with us since the jump. We made a lot of noise. A lot of players getting to express themselves and their opinions on here and talk about shit like that, which I promise you would not be a conversation on many other spots, but it's definitely cool insight. So there's our 200th active player spot right here. So
nice.
Number 200.
Let's go, baby. Let's
Appreciate
go.
You.
Have a bottle. Have a drink on us tonight.
We'll send
just
one.
Just one glass.
Everyone knows the rule.
Top 5 is like bottle. No, one glass.
I know. I get excited. I don't know.
Todd butterflies his steaks.
Hey, listen, butterfly. I don't care. I love steak.
Yep.
Man.
He wants that butterfly well done. That thing's like a
no. I'm a medium guy. A medium plus.
Yeah.
Medium plus.
We did a little nice in Cincinnati.
Everybody I know loves it rare, bro. I just can't. I can't do it.
I can do all rare, but I like a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Well, Lance, go
I'm not
shove.
trying to do it like jerky though.
No. I mean, do you know anyone? I don't know anyone nowadays. Well done.
You go
to the nice steak dinner and do you see anyone?
No, I don't know.
Curtis Granderson.
Oh wow!
Count on Kratz to throw a name right under the bus. Curtis Granderson of TBS.
There you go.
Did you guys get on him?
Oh, he made fun of himself. It was a good joke.
Wow,
it was a good joke.
Was he a bunch of steak sauce on it too, just to
down?
Dry? It was like why
ketchup. He probably put ketchup on.
Oh, no chance. No chance. He is sophisticated.
Lance, dude, great hanging out with you. Enjoy the moment. Like I said at the beginning too, you get to be here. I know the Sox weren't there, so it's fun times. Go handle things, and we'll have fun watching, and we'll talk to you soon after that.
Sounds good, fellas. Thanks for having me.
Cheers. Thanks, man. Lance Lynn of the LA Dodgers with us on FT Live. Kratz, right off the jump. He's always he knows the answer to your trivia question, right? He knows your Reds playoff game better than anyone, not just you.
I hesitated for 1.5 seconds. Buster Posey. Not Latos. But listen, I'd rather have that than not remember. So
also,
I mean, I got Re-App and Reap wrong too. So I'm glad he's here helping me today. Thank you, Erik.
Hey, you know what? I look at Lance and I'm like, man, if this dude comes out tomorrow night and he pitches really well, I was kind of laughing when you said, hey, if you're down 0-2 and you win, that's a big momentum shifter. Yeah, well, if you lose, you're going home. That's a different momentum shifter. But I'd like to, like, just looking at Lance, like, is there anybody else right now that you want that's available? You can't just go, oh, man, we got to get, well, I'll take Verlander or I'll take Garrett Cole. I'm saying of the guys who are available, who else do you want on the mound? I know he didn't have a great year, but
no, he's a bulldog, dude.
For the Dodgers? No, this is
no. Even for any team who's available.
What do you mean? I'm confused
Do
about the question.
you take him over Aaron
Whoever's
Nola,
pitching today,
over Merrill Kelly, over
Or tomorrow.
Dean Kramer, over Nate Eovaldi?
I mean,
Those
I
are
love
some good pitchers, too.
I love Nate
Kratz.
Eovaldi, don't get me wrong, but if I want a bulldog out there that looks like he's 7 foot on the mound, looks like a manatee, and that's going to bark at you every single time, he might get hit a few times, but guess what? He's still going to be the same dude. That's the guy I want.
You know exactly what you're going to get. And the momentum, obviously, you win this. This could switch a team like the Dodgers. They could flip the switch, and they could get out of this series. This is going to be really tough for them. I get it. They get out of this series, and this team could go on an absolute heater.
Agree.
And win the whole thing and get a real world championship.
In the YouTube
A
chat
real
right now.
world championship. Here we go.
Wow. You're right. I should have listened to that little answer there at the
Real.
at the
It's
end.
real. They got a ring.
They did.
So in the YouTube chat, some of the Dodger people are like, know who would look real good in an LA uniform at the moment?
Shohei.
Eduardo Rodriguez. I forgot about that.
Eduardo. Interesting.
They were pissed.
Interesting.
Completely forgot about that.
I did too.
Completely forgot about it too.
I mean, that's the thing. They lost a lot during the course of the season here. A lot. That was actually the one thing that I didn't remember to bring up to Dan Connolly when we were talking about the Orioles, is that I remember I said this at one point during the season, and a couple Oriole fans were like, no, and they pointed to like two dudes that missed like a month or two. The Orioles have been one of the healthiest ball clubs in baseball this year. I mean that as a compliment. They're young, credit to the training staff, the whole deal, right? They have kept dudes on the field. Yes, your closer's out towards the end of the year, gets TJ, but they have not had many significant injuries when you look around. Like, look what's missing for the Rays, just in the pitching staff alone. I mean, 3 out of their top 5 at least. Look at the Dodgers right now. No no Dustin May, no Tony Gonsolin. Obviously, Arias, that's a different situation. But I'm just saying, like, they are
Walker Buehler's not
a
back.
lot of dudes. Walker Buehler didn't end up coming back.
Dude, there's teams with a lot of injuries, man.
Injuries are going to be inevitable. I think with a team like the Orioles, they're so young. Half those dudes might not even stretch. I know Todd, when he was young, he was just like, oh, we're stretching? He's like,
dude, my shoulder's been barking for no reason. I don't know what's going on.
you didn't stretch when you were 23 years old. These dudes are going out there and just playing. And that's the kind of like, that's the difference. Like, you look at like older guys, younger guys, all that stuff. There's some issues in the fact that guys are always going to be getting hurt. But is it the young guys that are staying healthy, or are the Orioles just, are they, in the forefront of keeping players healthy? I have a hard time believing that. I just think they're young and they got full of piss and vinegar and they're ready to get out there.
Agree. And I did stretch when I was 23. I had to, because my back was barking. My hammies were tight. Unlike you, as a catcher, you had great knees, and it's just catchers are, I would never pick that to my worst enemy. I would say, what position you want? But I'd say, go play anywhere else but catcher. That's not the right. You picked a terrible spot.
Every catcher, has said, "Man, I wish I could play another position."
Yes,
nobody's like,
but nobody can handle it as good as you catchers can, for sure.
Well,
I couldn't.
I mean, technically, he should have picked center field.
I would have needed those knee savers.
Yeah,
100%.
I wore them.
I might have needed like 4 of them though, just so I could.
You
be
just
like
standing up.
Yeah, I would have needed a chair or something.
How many years would have you lasted as a catcher?
Not many at all.
No.
They had me try catching in high A. Kratz, I never told you this, because I was doing so well, and they were saying, listen, you're going to go up real quick, but they have a shortstop, they have a third base, and this and that. We're trying catching. Me and Joe A. Rolled. We're in there in the cage in Sarasota, 110 degrees. he goes, Frazier, you got the equipment on everything. He goes, all right, you got your cup on? I said, no, man, I don't wear a cup. He goes, Jesus Christ. He goes, well, we can't do anything right now. I said, oh, my bad. So we had to come back the next day. The clubby went and got me a cup, came back the next day. I'm blocking balls. I said, bro, not bad. And
I
then,
believe it. You're
and
athletic.
no, but the next day after I was done, like the back of my knees and my calves, oh my God. I said, Joe, I said, it was fun, but they're either going to make me an infielder or an outfielder. I'm not. He's like, okay, thanks. One day. That was it.
One delayed day because you didn't bring the cup.
Yeah.
So you had to wait a day.
He's like, dude, you don't wear a cup? I said, I've never worn it in my life. He goes, bro, you're insane. I said, yeah, I'm not the only one, but yeah, I didn't like the feeling.
No, we've gone over this. It's been a while.
Yeah,
but
no,
the
we
cup
have.
percentage in the bigs is what, guys?
70.
70% wear or don't wear?
Don't wear.
Where?
Don't wear.
Oh, don't wear.
Infielders and outfielders for sure.
Don't wear.
Don't wear.
70% of non-catchers, is that what you're saying? Or
70%
total position players?
Total. So out of the 9 players that play, I'm going to say that 6 don't have it on.
I'm saying some pitchers wear it too, by the way.
They do, but not all of them.
No, I'm saying some. But yeah, I would love to take a poll on that just to see, like, if we can have a poll, where you don't have names, just be like, what do they call those?
Anonymous?
Where you say anonymous.
Anonymous.
Dude,
Well,
I'm 0 for 3 today. Thank you.
And Kratz answers
Kratzy.
so fast.
That's why I love them.
Well,
anonymous
they do the Player
poll.
Choice Awards, right? You
Yeah.
get to vote for, most outstanding.
Yeah, just
player,
right.
all that,
Just
which-
right. Yes or no.
Yeah. Do you wear a cup? I'm going to ask if they can add that to the ballot.
Yeah.
I like it.
He said 10 minutes.
Who's player of the year? I'm going to take Shohei Ohtani. Do you wear a cup? No.
He'd be like, cup to drink? What are you talking about?
Yeah, what?
I think it's an important question.
It's
It
not
is an
comfortable
important
at all.
question.
And if
don't
people
do it,
say,
don't
I'm
do it at
used to
home, kids. The fields don't have bad hops. Don't do it at home. You ain't going to Tom's River Little League field and taking some grounders until Todd gets into that wallet and buys some turf for Tom's River Little League.
Listen, I'm the new field and maintenance guy now. I'm the board member at Tom's River Little League. Watch out. I'm going to make that thing smooth as silk.
No, you're going to drag that thing one time with your bougie self and be like, I'm never getting on this mower ever again. This thing doesn't even have a mower deck on it. We're getting turf.
I didn't say I was going to mow. We got guys for that, okay? I got to make sure the garbage is clean. I got to make sure that the cages are closed and everything like that, all right?
You're going to have an infestation of raccoons. I've seen all the trash you leave everywhere all over the place. Nope. Tom's River Little League, the home of raccoons and
it's
soon
Tom's River
turf.
East Little League. Tom's River and Tom's River East are 2 different little leagues. Get it right.
Okay. Malomia.
All right, thank you.
Also, we did have some issues towards the end of the year in a big league ballpark with their field in Queens, New York. You can look that up. We don't have time right now. We have our next guest on FT Live, the Atlanta Braves org. Dylan Lee joins us right now as the Braves obviously had a freaking wild game against the Phillies to stay alive. I mean, they still would have been alive regardless, but that was a huge game. Dylan, awesome to have you on, man. How you doing? And how was your viewing experience of the game last night?
It was awesome to be a part of. Just want to thank you guys for letting me on the show today. Don't know how you found me, but I'm glad you did.
Time out. Let me ask you this.
He's 201.
We found out that, honestly, we were looking like, Dylan's not there. He's driving. Be here in 10 minutes. 3 minutes later, you're in the house ready to go, dog. What were you going 130 miles an hour?
He's F1.
He's F1.
Yeah.
Okay, my biscuit. I mean, you must have been cruising just to get on the show. We appreciate you.
No problem. Thanks for having me on, guys.
You got it.
No, you know how some people are always late, Dylan, and they're like, "Oh, I'll be there in 5 minutes," but it's like 15. You just know that friend when you just got to add 10. Maybe Dylan's one of those where it's like, "I'll be there in 10," but it's 3.
Just he's making sure he's got a little leeway just in case.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I definitely wanted to check in. I like being there early. I grew up that way. I like being on time, and I definitely apologize for being a little late.
Oh,
No,
stop
dude,
it, bro.
you're
There
good.
are no
Please,
apologies.
Stop it. All right. So, but first off, I just want to get your big picture take on the Braves situation currently and what was going through your mind. I know you wish you were out there pitching right now for them, but what's going through your mind? You've been a big part of some Braves playoff baseball in the past already in your young career, but what are you thinking when they're down. You're getting pretty late in the contest, and the Phillies are no joke. Are you like, damn it, the year that this team had, and we're going to go down potentially in the DS? Or were you like, nah, offense is going to explode at some point. We're good.
Yeah, never a doubt. Never a doubt with those guys. I think maybe everybody in the clubhouse is trying to find their spot. I know you guys know that. Trying to find a spot where we can get some hits somewhere. If not, change it up, and that's definitely what we're doing. The inactive guys doing our things just to get some good luck going with the guys.
Let me ask you this: so you're not allowed in the dugout, or no? Yes.
So I started off the game in the bullpen, and then
Yeah.
when I start seeing people move around, I try to get out of their way, and then I headed towards the clubhouse, went down to the dugout, and just try to stay out of everybody's way.
Get some good vibes. I like that. So my question to you, Travis d'Arnaud, man, what a solid dude on and off the field. I played with him with the Mets. My question to you is, how does a guy like that still do it? You know, he doesn't play as often as he likes. You know, I'm sure he's in the bullpen working with you guys, dude. Talk to me a little bit about him and how he works his ass off just to get in this situation and hit a big 2-run home run.
I mean, he works hard every day. I like the way he handles the game. A lot of guys have a lot of faith in him and Murph. And when I'm up there, I just almost have a caveman-like mentality because I know that he put in the work. He's studied those hitters, and it's just like, all right, let's roll. I don't have to think or overthink myself. Just trust with him behind the dish.
So where was your place? Where was your place when the runs started pouring in? Was it the same place as when Albies got that knock and then Turner booted it, or was it the same place once you guys got, a couple runs across?
Yeah, so every time that we were on defense, I was out there, and then once we started hitting, I went to my place in the training room and got on a stool and just sat there and didn't move.
No, like massage gun or nothing like that. Not like
rally beers.
Yeah, like rally, like a little like Kahlua at least or something.
There was definitely some in play, but can't get far into it.
Hey, that's part of the beast. You think this team right now in a good position going into Philly with probably the most raucous stadium? You still got a good shot here in these next 2 games?
Definitely. We like it. We have good energy, and I knew it would have been hard to get 2 there, but it's good going in 1-1.
Let me ask you this now: what is going to be the key for this squad to get over the hump in Philadelphia? What do you think, in your opinion?
I don't think we have to get over a hump, really. I think we just got to do our thing, play our game, and
love it.
We won't have a problem.
Will you go out to the bullpen out in Philly? Because you guys are up on for people who don't know, Philly, you're on the second tier, and they switched it. It used to be the home team was on the second tier, and the fans were just so brutal because they're so close. Yep. Are you going to go out to the bullpen just to like immerse yourself in there? Maybe take a solo cup or 2?
I'm not traveling currently, but all the home games I'll be there. I definitely know that stadium. You have a pretty much 360-degree view of fans. They're from the front, back, side to side, and they're giving it to you and saying anything and everything to try to rally you.
Dylan, let's hit the personal side for a moment. How has this year been for you? How difficult is it for you? I know you dealt with the shoulder recently, to not be able to, be a part of this at the moment.
It's tough. I definitely have confidence in our guys. I wish I was there, but I know that we have the staff that can do it. This year's been tough, but it's just a learning curve, a learning process of how to not let it happen again.
And I mean, last year you were ridiculous. Your ERA was in the low 2s. Obviously, you're a high leverage reliever out of the pen for this team. And I remember because I was covering the Braves a little bit last year on the road, and Tyler Matzek wasn't the same at times, and then turns out that he was hurt, and he'll be back next year. Had some surgery, and like you were that guy. They were like, "Yo, we miss Tyler. He was a G for us in the past, but now we have Dylan Lee." Like, how much can you look back at that time and know that you'll be able to do that again for this team pretty soon? I mean, you're still in your 20s, dude.
Yeah, I think I'm 1 year away from being 30, so it's not in the 20s. But yeah, I'm figuring it out. I had a little rough spots in the minor leagues, and I think that prepared me to be in situations and spots where I can help the team in those tough spots. So.
Now, if you were in Philly and something was to go down, man, I heard there might be a career in boxing, so I feel like they might need you in your corner here a little bit now.
I don't know if I'm able to even step on the field, but I definitely would like to if something did happen. But we have guys that can do it when I'm not there.
Wait, give me more on this. And we have video.
That's my buddy Richard Torres.
Look at
He's
him go,
from Tulare,
man.
California.
Is that the Olympian?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. I saw him actually in a doc recently.
Yeah,
All right, so
dude.
is that the off-season training regimen?
Actually, no. We met in a Fresno State football game and just asked to hang out, go train, and he allowed me to go and learn some techniques from him.
So when does he get to take some swings? Sorry, Kratz, one more.
No, you're good.
Would he look like a total fool if he's taking swings in BP, or you think he's got the hand-eye to put one over the fence? Is he like Joe Burrow out there taking BP, or I don't know, anyone else?
I got some at-bats in AAA, so I went 2 for 4, and I hit pretty well in college, high school, but I don't know if that means anything in pro ball. I've never faced major league hitting or major league pitching. It's a different game.
Have you ever hit 140 home runs in high school total, or no?
Oh my gosh!
This guy from Japan is coming in the United States, 140 home runs, and I mean, come on, man, that's insane. No.
Yeah, I was never a home run hitter, but I could get on base. Find a way.
That's all that matters.
So if they let you start boxing, I know the team would be like, no chance. We can't let that $1 million left arm do anything remotely close to boxing. Who on your team would be the first person you're like, I want to get in the ring with that dude?
Get in the ring with him?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think I have any. There might be some guys that I didn't want to get in the ring with, but
who would that be?
There's a couple guys. I don't think Ozuna would be someone I'd want to tussle with. He's a big dude. Matt Olson.
You're a big dude. You got to come with.
Murph's yeah, but you can tell in people's eyes. And Murph's got that. That's for sure.
A quick side note, because a couple of our fans asked in the live chat to bring this to a current big league player, because we were polling Kratz and Frazier here. How many players, percentage-wise, wear a cup in the big leagues? You take all of however many the number is, right? It used to be 750. I used to be able to use more than that. Whatever the number is of active major league players. 780?
Yep.
How many out of 780? So, what's the percentage? And then these guys will tell you what they think their percentage is.
I'm going to guess maybe a 5%.
Oh, hey, wow, yeah.
5%.
Yeah.
Kratz, what number did you say? That wear
a cup? 30%.
Really? I mean,
hey,
he's like, oh, man, let me tell you.
I don't go around checking guys' cup checking, but
hey, listen.
You don't?
I'm in the locker room with guys, and I don't know if I see a lot of cups and jock straps anymore.
Hey, I mean, we're talking. I mean, the catchers are wearing them.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
First baseman.
Maybe.
Some soft pitchers are wearing them.
I don't think any of our pitchers are wearing them.
See, I was pretty confident in my 30%, but I would have taken the under. I set it at 30%. I would have taken that under.
Yeah.
When was the last time you wore a cup in a game?
Probably in Little League.
Yeah, you're supposed to wear it when you're younger. Smart move.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or when
it doesn't make you a meat gazer if you find out. It's not a meat gazer.
It's only natural. Only natural.
Definitely, if I played first, I'd wear one for sure. Yeah. Guys hitting at 110, 115 off the bat. No, thank you.
Let me ask you this. So we saw a picture online of you fishing, and you caught a monster fish. Is that the biggest fish you ever caught before, or no?
That was a snook, but I would have to say the biggest bass I caught was about 9 pounds. I did catch a tarpon that might have been a little bit bigger than that. But, yeah, that's
wow, look at the size of that. If I ever caught that, I'd go nuts, man. I'm not a fisherman at all. I don't have the patience
You're
for
near
it.
the water, though, here.
I know. I body surf. Anyway, I have that, the body for it. Whatever.
Yeah.
It's for another
story.
Yeah,
you got to watch it on video.
But that's pretty cool, man. It looked great. But where were you guys right there?
That was a canal down in the Everglades, Florida.
Oh, beautiful, man. Beautiful. Also, You own a nonprofit called Leaders in Lures, started 3 years ago to help families in need through faith-based action. Talk to us about that a little bit, man. I'm sure you want to let everybody know about that.
Yeah, so it basically started in 2020. I wasn't invited to go and play baseball, and I saw a big need for just people to go outdoors. I'm used to going outdoors, playing baseball at least, and I used to fish a lot, and it kind of kickstarted me fishing again. I'd go into the stores and see all the fishing supplies gone, and I'm like, man, I definitely didn't understand why everybody was doing it, and I felt the need for kids to get out because I feel like a lot of the times they're just playing on their Xbox, PS5, and they just need to get outside and enjoy God's green earth. But yeah, I felt the need to start something, and I wasn't a big leaguer. I didn't feel like I was a big presence, but I don't think that you need to be a big presence to start something like that. And in my area, I've noticed that some other people have kind of taken the reins, and a couple other nonprofits that are fishing related has started up because of that. So it was cool to see.
And I've got the website for everyone if they want to learn more info, leadersandlures.org. Leaders and LURES.org to learn more there. Okay, I want to go back.
I ran a fishing tournament, and I got to raise some money for some kids back in my hometown called Valley Children's Hospital. And it was nice to just be able to give back to a hospital that actually helped me out. I broke my femur as a kid, and it's not always the easiest to come back from.
Did you have any cool experiences with the kids there, or get any like funny questions? Like, hey, I saw this one outing you made. You gave up a homer. What happened there? You know, like anything fun like that?
Not really. They usually just tell me that they like a certain team or they don't like this team, and then they ask me about certain players, like, what's Ronald Acuña's favorite color? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't really have that conversations with them.
Yellow.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Kratz, you're so sharp today.
Oh, he's
Damn,
on it. He's
you're
on it.
really feeling it today. You got a good night's sleep.
Hey, you guys ever, your charity ever go to PAO, Professional Athletes Outreach? Bobby Magianis is into that too. Do you guys ever connect with them?
I haven't connected with Bobby on it, but I was going to head to Mexico, and then I got told not to go there during that time because there was some bad stuff going on. But I was going to connect and go to Los Mochis and hand out some equipment.
Nice.
Hey, Dylan, I want to take us back to the club for a sec, coming off the crazy win. So tell me, because, you know, I was a media dude I guess I still am, but I was like more of like your traditional legacy media dude for a while. So, you know, you do the on-field interview, then you wait to go into the clubhouse. So take me through what a clubhouse is like after a win like that, like for Atlanta. You know, obviously sometimes like there's a skit, like the Rays would do a shot at tequila for the player of the game this year, or somebody gets some, you know, title belt or something. So after that game, like what is said? Is there music and the whole deal? And then like, does there suddenly, after what, a 10, 12-minute period, does it turn into like, media's coming, and, you know, then it kind of dies down a little until we leave?
Well, the party was definitely started as soon as that last out was made, and it continued until the media got there, and there were some guys pretty upset that the media stepped in a little too early. But yeah, there might have been some choice words of the media, but it was all love.
See, sometimes it's the no fun police. The media comes in. You can continue. Like, they technically don't care. And also, like, really my favorite thing, I'm being sarcastic, when, you know, you kind of wait, they let you in, but like no one's ready yet. So you just awkwardly stand there while everyone's getting ready. It just feels like there's a better way, but whatever.
Agree.
You guys turn the music. You can turn the music up louder then, because they can't do their interviews if you turn the music up louder. And then your PR guy has to go, excuse me, Dylan, could you please turn the boombox down?
Come on.
We respect the media. We let them in, let them do their job. And then once they're out, we get to go back and doing our thing. But yeah, it's definitely a little buzzkill.
Do you guys have a player of the game ceremony or anything like that?
Well, we were doing that as we were watching the replays up in the clubhouse, and we were just chatting it up, letting the guys know. When Mike Harris kind of did his throw from center field, and then he was like, "Oh no," because Ozzie missed it, and he's like, "Oh, he made it." We were just cracking up, and seeing Riley hit those home runs. Yeah, we just have fun. it's never really like a player of the game, but enjoy being with each other.
Who do you think was the most clutch player, though? Because you really have 3 candidates from that game last night, right? Darno, Riley, or Harris?
I mean, we got to talk about the bullpen too, shutting down the offense and giving up no runs. I don't even know how many hits they gave up, but maybe 1 or 2. It was a team effort, and I don't think you can put a player of the game. It's multiple aspects of it.
You've been in this pen for a few years, Dylan. What do you see that makes a successful bullpen? Because some teams like badly struggle in that department, and then there's other teams where it's like every year you feel pretty good about it. No, especially from the fan perspective, every fan always is like, "Oh, I'm worried about the bullpen." But I mean, let's be real. There's some teams that stand out. The Braves have had a really strong bullpen. I mean, the Phillies have a good bullpen this year too, but is there anything that you've seen that's been done well, coaching staff, or the way that, GM has assembled that group there? Because you've had some additions this year, of course.
I definitely think our GM has put together a good team, not only in the bullpen, but just the players that surround us. It's just good supportive staff as well. You don't ever have a guy that you're just like, oh, let's not talk to this guy. He's going through it right now. Let's not talk to him. Even if someone's going through a slump, someone's having a bad, rough couple patches of appearances, you can't really tell because that's just the group of guys we have. It's you don't let it get too high, you don't let it get too low.
Did you catch Darren O'Day at the end of his run there? Were you with him? Was that 2 years ago?
I missed him, I think, in 2020, but I had him in 2022.
In 22, right? Okay. Did anyone take that role? Because wasn't he kind of like the punk in there, where he's like, "Yo, I'm old. I'm almost done here. I'm gonna give everyone nicknames."
There was no salt from Darren for sure. It was great to have leadership like that, veteran leadership, and showing us that he can still be loose. You don't have to have any salt, pretty much. I've heard it all the time, like salty veteran. You got to just like be seen but not heard. And it was nice to bounce off ideas and talk to him just like any other player.
Do you ever think you were going to be in this situation? Took you a while to make it to the big leagues, and then you had this just ridiculous year last year. Obviously, you're coming back from injury now, but did you ever think, and at what point in that first, was it 5 years till you made it, till you first got called
6
up?
years.
6,
and then I got released by the
season.
Marlins.
Yeah.
When I got released and I didn't get any calls or heard anybody for 2 weeks, it was tough. I think I was going to go to any ball. I was going to play for the Chicago Dogs. And, that would have been a little tough. And I was like, man, I don't know what I can do. But I knew that 2021 year was either going to be my last year because I was trying to start a family, and being able to support a family maybe on some minor league paychecks, it's tough. So that might have been my last year.
Kratz,
I know all about that, but I never had to deal with the 2020 stuff. I don't know. I mean, I commend you, because that 2020 season derailed a lot of people's careers. Like you were on that cusp, and I was fortunate. I was in the end. I was in the end of my career. I was fortunate to still be able to play that year. But like, I commend you because, I walked that journey, but everybody's journey is completely different. So that's freaking awesome. And don't let them take you out.
No, I didn't get to play at all in 2020, and it was tough. I was throwing in backyards, throwing into a net for pretty much the whole year.
What did you feel like in last year? Because obviously that was like your big breakout, and I know you'd pitched the year before too. What did you feel like happened?
I think it was just trusting my ability, trusting my stuff, taking the analytics side, but also mending it with my mental state was a perfect blend. Our analytic guys are awesome there. And for me, trusting my slider, because analytically it's not very good, but being able to trust my slider, throw it consistently into spots, it was a big change for me.
Wait, so just one more here. So if you're talking to the staff behind the scenes, and how does that combo go? They go, okay, listen, here's the deal. Because sometimes guys come over to a new team and they're like Pablo Lopez, I'll give you an example. They're like, we got something for you. Sweeper, dude. Obviously, we're hearing a lot about that pitch. You don't have one. Let's try it out. Turns into another weapon for him. With you, are they like, all right, listen, your slider does not grade well, but we want you to throw it more? Like, what was the combo like?
So at the beginning of spring training, when I got picked up, they told me to try a different grip, and I was like, I've tried almost every single grip, and this is the one that works for me. And I threw my grip in the game, and after that outing, the guy's like, "Which grip did you use?" I said, "Mine." He's like, "Just stick with that." And then I went through the whole year with my grip, and it turned out pretty well. And that's the same grip that I used in 2022.
Damn, there you go. I like that. One little tweak.
That's all it takes.
Yeah. Well, Dylan, enjoy the ride. I know it's bittersweet, but also this team's freaking dominant. You've been a big part of it, so have fun with it. And we look forward to seeing you contribute to it as well. And I'm glad we found you. Like you said, I don't know how we found you, but we find everyone. We'll have every player.
Find you.
You were actually 201st player guest appearance of the year on the show already. So appreciate you, man. Hope you had fun.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Dylan Lee of the Atlanta Braves. They've got a big Game 3 coming up in Philadelphia. Good stuff. So had a couple announcements we're going to make. So let's do that during Slap Hands action. I feel like we always have announcements, which is cool because, I mean, we're pretty active. We don't sit around much. There's just always something else popping up. I'll give you one teaser. It is very likely that we will do what we did on, what's today, Tuesday? Monday evening. Another watch along for Phillies-Braves because people liked it and it was cool. And we'll bring some friends. So stay tuned for that. You'll learn more info. And Todd Father's up next with his announcement.
Yeah, so I announced this last week. I'm having my second annual Frazier Pong tournament. It is, throwing ping pong balls into a cup. It's a fun game. All the money is benefiting the Children's Specialized Hospital Foundation. There'll be a silent auction. There'll be a lot of prizes. We're trying to get 64 teams to make it like an NCAA bracket tournament. There'll be a loser's bracket as well. There's less than 20 spots left. Saturday, November 18th at Sawmill in Seaside Heights, man. It's great. We've raised over $25,000 already. We're looking to raise $50,000. It's going to be a great event. Pizza is going to be on the Sawmill, one of the best slices you'll ever get. They are giving out free pizza. There'll be a bar there. So if you want another alcoholic beverage, go ahead. It's going to be a great night. Last year's team won an 80-inch TV. This year, there might be there's going to be WWE tickets or Jingle Ball tickets. So there's going to be really good prizes at this. And, the top couple teams are going to win. You're going to get goodie prizes. There's going to be a lot. And there's still sponsorships available. So there'll be a link on there. Scan the code. Check it out. You want to donate to the Children's Specialized Hospital. Let's go.
And
I thought this was a ping pong tournament.
No. No, not ping pong because you wouldn't beat me in that either.
Adult pong.
You're a B player. Pong though. What is this? What is this pong game?
So you take a ping pong ball, and throw it into red cups, solo cups.
Red cups. And is there something in those cups?
There'll be water in those cups because you don't want to drink out of those. That's disgusting. You don't want to share.
Especially with a ball.
I don't want your saliva. So if you want to have a beverage next to you to drink and play fair, that's fine. You go right ahead. It's going to be a fun time.
We're adults.
The FT family is going to be there.
Yes.
Correct.
I
the FT fam's
that.
there. So for people watching, if you're in the area and you want to play, and we'll promote it, obviously, more leading up to it as well. But spots are filling up and eventually it'll sell out and then you won't be able to participate. So, and then you'll just have to watch us like.
And fans are welcome. You can come on. There's plenty. There's plenty opening. It's a big spot right on the water. Some good views, good times.
Is it windy? I don't want my ball to
No, it'll be indoors. Don't you worry about it.
I will say, like, bucket list item, everybody should have Pong with Todd Father and Seaside on their list.
With some pie.
That is
with some
so
pie.
Jersey.
Oh.
And the pizzas, the slices are huge. So you'll have one and be full. But listen, Ron from Sawmill, I appreciate you. This is our second annual one there. Mm-hmm. Free pizza. I mean, the pie takes over this whole table. That's
bigger than a MLB base.
Yeah. Oh yeah, without a doubt. 100%.
And then one more announcement here for the crowd, actually, for tonight, because we're trying to give you as much live action during these games as possible. FT will run a Twitter Spaces. So if you're on Twitter and you'd like to listen to us, I mean, it's not video. We'll wear whatever the hell we want. You know how Twitter Spaces works. It'll start in the 9th inning of that second game. So it's Baltimore against Texas. That game's 8 o'clock Eastern. So you figure these games are 3-ish hours. So by probably 9:45 range, you might have I'll be on there. One of our superstars behind the scenes, Michael, who does a great job on our social media team and is actually a super influencer for the Texas Rangers. I mean, not for the ball club, but tweets about them. We'll have Locked On Orioles Twitter accounts. We'll have some Orioles and Rangers people, and we'll break down that game in the 9th as it's going down, and then we'll talk about it post game. So look out for that on FT Twitter. And yes, again, I'll remind everyone, Braves Phillies, I guess we can say it officially then, happening tomorrow, watch party. So many ways to hang out with us in the evening, especially for the crowd that watches the show at night because you're working during the day. Come talk to us live on Twitter Spaces tonight, Tuesday night, and then Wednesday night, Phillies-Braves watch party on YouTube. And Kratz Hats, what do you got?
Todd, you know what that is?
The Tides?
No. It's the Toronto Blue Jays. For a minute, this was their hat.
It was.
It was
what Vernon Wells back in the day.
Vernon Wells back in the day. Brutal choice. Love the black and silver though. It was a sharp, but the logo. Toronto's always looking to change their logo.
Yeah, they are,
and they shouldn't because I like what they've got. But yeah, that hat I will say is brutal in every way, including even the way you can wear it backwards. It looks like there's like a mic attached to the hat, right?
Nice lineage.
Looks like there's some wiring.
It's good for Kratz. It stretches a little bit, so he's got.
Need that. Yeah. Big old brain.
We did this every day. Obviously, enjoy the playoff games this evening, and then we will break them all down. Also, Pierzynski calling that game with the Astros and Twins coming up. So, see you on Wednesday on FT Alive. We'll be here.